Good morning. Good morning.
My- Yeah, good
Uh,
morning.
Good morning. Yes, Mehak is a new student, so she
My
will.
name is Mehak and
Yeah,
I was settled in Saudi.
you're settled in Saudi.
I was settled in Saudi and now, yeah, I'll be there with you guys for 12th and 11th.
Yeah.
And my ambition is to become a psychologist.
Yeah, great.
I guess that's it.
Okay. So, have you covered the portions, or are you still midway, close to it? Where have you reached?
There were one or two chapters left in Saudi.
Okay.
Um, they decided to take after the vacation, so I'll be covering it before the exams.
So, you had the same syllabus?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, great. Fine. So, now you're settled in Kerala or Saudi itself?
Kerala. For
Kerala.
now, Kerala.
Where in Kerala?
Um, Perinjanam,
Where?
Moonodia area.
Sorry?
Moonodia area, Kodungalur. And,
Kodungalur. Okay, okay, fine.
yeah.
So, are you all coming to school today? Who all are coming?
Ma'am, I will come.
Okay. Ashish is on the way. Okay. Meghna, Amal. Okay, okay, fine, fine. Yes. So, we'll start the revision. I know you might have not even opened the textbook. I know you have bundles of work to complete. So, probably I'll give some revision questions and we'll discuss from the last chapter memory. Okay. Human memory. Take down the important questions so that it'll be much easier for the exam. And for the upcoming classes, I hope you won't miss the classes because revision is very important. The revision questions that I give is also very important for the exam. Okay, please take that seriously and attend. Amal, what happened? You thought something? What happened? Okay. Yes, human memory. The first important thing in any chapter is definition. Definition of memory. Please open the textbook also. Yes, the first line in the section of nature of memory, we have the definition. Memory refers to retaining and recalling information over a period of time, depending upon the nature of cognitive task you are required to perform. Or in common terms, what do you or how do you define memory as? Memory is the ability to encode, encode,
Over and retrieves
store and
information.
save the information. In common terms, we say that, but this is the scientific definition. That is, memory refers to retaining and recalling information. That is, we have to maintain that information. Also, we have to recall that information. We have to get that information from a storage system over a period of time, depending upon the nature of cognitive task you are required to perform. Whichever cognitive task you are required to perform, such as if you have to solve a problem, if it is a mathematical problem, you have to recall the equation that you have learned. You have to recall the formulas that you have learned. Then if you're writing an essay, then you have to recall information regarding the general awareness, general knowledge. Then if it is on a specific topic like environment, environmental hazards, then you have to think about that particular topic. You have to recall from your experiences, you have to retain that in your memory, then you have to reproduce that in your essay, isn't it? So according to different purposes, we have different memories involved, different tasks involved, and different types of information also involved. We have to retain them, we have to recall them. That is memory. Then what do we have? For any piece of information, memory, if it has to enter a memory system, it undergoes three main processes. Which are the three main processes that any uh, piece of information has to undergo? Just now I said in the definition, common definition.
Encoding, storage, and retrieval.
Yes, encoding, storage, and retrieval. That's a very important point. Note that. Either note in the textbook or you can write down in the rough book or lecture note, whichever way you like. Encoding, storage, and retrieval. And you have to explain what encoding, storage, and retrieval is. Encoding is just the registration. Storage means we all know you have to store that information, the encoded information, in a particular system, just like a computer system. Then retrieval means when a particular use comes, we have to recall that. We have to take back that encoded and stored information into our consciousness level. Okay, that is retrieval. Fine. Then another important thing that we learned in the chapter is information processing model. What is information processing model? Amal, what did we compare human memory with? Yes, correct. Unmute.
My computer.
Computer system. Yes, the computer also has memory. We also have human memory. In there, we have different types of memory: read alone memory, RAM, ROM, all these things. And now memory, what all things are there? That we studied in the next model, stage model, that you leave it, no problem. So what analogy is made in the information processing model? The human memory is analogous with, or is compared with, or is similar to
Computer.
the computer system. Okay. Then, just as we encode, store, and retrieve information, the computer can also uh, store information, and you can take information as and when required from the computer memory. Okay. If you have a doubt, stop me then and there and I can clear it. Fine. Then the next thing is the stage model, based on which approach or which theoretical concept is the stage model introduced. Based on which approach is the stage model or was the stage model introduced? Any idea?
Information processing.
Information processing approach. It is because of the advent of the information processing approach that who developed stage model?
Atkinson and Schiff.
Yes, Atkinson and Shiffrin. So they got inspiration from this information processing approach and then they brought about the stage model, and it was by Atkinson and Shiffrin in the year which is the year 1968. Okay. And in the stage model, which are the three stages?
Sensory memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory.
Yes. Sensory memory, then short-term memory, also known as S.
Selective memory.
Ah, no, 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 no.
STM.
Yes, as simple as that. STM. Then long-term memory, otherwise known as
LTM.
LTM. Okay. Sensory memory. You seem to think like psychology, Reina. Be simple. Okay. When application level questions comes, we'll think like a psychologist. Okay. Yes. So sensory memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory. When information comes, at first it enters the which memory?
Sensory.
Sensory memory. That is based on different sensory receptors based on our sensations. Then it goes into the
Short-term.
short-term memory. Then it goes into the long-term memory. As it travels from one memory system to next memory system, what happens is there are different control processes. Control processes in the sense we have elaborative rehearsal, we have maintenance rehearsal, we have chunking, we have selective attention at first. Okay, so all these form the control processes. Then what else is there in that? Then you have to learn echoic and iconic memory. These are parts of which memory
Short
system?
term
No,
sensory.
sensory memory system. Echoic is related to which sensation?
Hearing.
Hearing sensation. And the iconic memory?
Eyes.
Eyes. Remember it like that. Iconic, eyes, vision. Okay. So that forms sensory. That is related to senses, right? Echo, sound, and iconic, eye. So that is related to our senses. So it will be part of sensory memory. And then what else is there? Short term memory. You have to learn the capacity as well as the duration of the three systems. Which has unlimited capacity among the three?
Long term
Long term. They have relatively, comparatively unlimited capacity. Then that's it about the stage model. So after the after discussing the disadvantages of the stage model, which model came? Different levels by Craig and Lockhart.
levels of processing.
Levels of processing. Mainly we say shallow processing and deep level processing. Okay, and in between moderate also comes, but that also comes under the shallow level. So read up that portion. It was by Craig and Lockhart. Shallow level means the basic features will be processed, and deep level processing the meaning and what do you say? What is the word for that related to meaning? If we are
Semantically.
processing, yes, yes, Lena.
Semantically.
Semantically, Semantically, semantically. Okay, got that? Semantic. Then, so the two main theoretical concepts regarding memory that we studied is one is stage model, next one is levels of processing. Okay, and stage model is based on information processing approach. Clear till that? Okay. Now the next is long-term memory. Long-term memory that has divisions, subdivisions, all those things. So which are the two basic subdivisions or the basic divisions of long-term memory?
Declarative and non-declarative.
Declarative and non-declarative memory. And declarative, as you can guess from the name itself, we can declare that to someone, which means we can verbally describe that or explain that to someone. That is declarative. Remember it like that. Don't study. Sorry. Don't study it by heart. Instead of that, understand it, connect to something, and then learn. Then, non declarative. It is otherwise known as non declarative. Of course, we can't declare that or we can't explain it to somebody in terms of words. It is very difficult to explain that thing in terms of words. So, how will we explain that to a person? We'll demonstrate that. We'll show that to the person. We'll do the procedure to that person. That is why it is known as what memory?
Procedural.
Procedural memory. Non declarative memory, otherwise known as procedural memory. Note that, that's very important. What is the other name for non declarative memory, or what is the other name for procedural memory? And you have to study the examples for both declarative as well as non declarative. Give me an example for non declarative memory. Yes, Mehak. Just a minute. Give an example for declarative or start with non declarative, then it'll be much easier. Non declarative, which you cannot explain to someone but only show. I mean, you feel it very difficult to explain it to someone, but you can show it or demonstrate it or show the procedure to that person, to the other person. Tell me.
Teaching a child how to ride a bicycle.
Yes, riding a bicycle. The memory regarding riding a bicycle. So you find it very difficult to explain it to that person, but you can show that to the person. You can demonstrate the procedure to the other person so that the other person understands it well. So the memory regarding riding a bicycle, memory regarding walking, memory regarding the different skills that we do, memory regarding swimming. All these things are coming under which memory? Meghna?
Non-declarative.
Non-declarative, otherwise known as
Procedure memory.
procedural memory. So what will give me an example for the declarative memory?
How how to write?
How to write. Writing is a procedure. No? How would you explain how to write? Anything other than procedural memory would be declarative memory, isn't it? So think of any common memory.
Teaching a subject.
Teaching a subject. Hmm. Come to students level again. What is your name?
Meghna.
Meghna. That is what memory?
Long-term memory.
Long-term memory. Okay. What type of long-term memory?
Declarative.
Declarative memory. So simple, no? As simple as that. Your name, your parents' name, your class, your age, the food that you eat, then the language that you speak. All these things comes under language skills comes under procedural memory, but the basic words, English words, Malayalam words, or the other language words that you use, all these comes under declarative memory. Okay. When I asked you the name, you could easily describe it, no? You could easily tell me what your name was. You didn't find it very difficult to tell your name. If it was a procedural memory, then you would find it very difficult to tell your name to me, and you would show actions, and you would find it very, very difficult to even tell your name to me. But you could easily answer my question. So that is what memory?
Declarative.
Declarative memory. Similarly, autobiographical events, I told you, the episodes in your life, your birthday, then the birth date of your family members, then the first time you went to school, then the first time you bought a phone. All these are declarative memory. You can easily explain that to a person, isn't it? When was the happiest moment of your life? If I ask you, you would think of a particular moment in your life. That is declarative memory because you can explain. You can write it and give me, or you can speak it to me in terms of words. So that is again declarative memory. And so declarative memory, as we have discussed earlier, has two divisions. Which are they?
Semantic and episodic.
Semantic and episodic. And episodic means different episodes of your life, just as I discussed now, the birthdays, the important dates. And one important thing to note here is that among semantic and episodic has some emotional attachment. Your birthday, your sibling's birthday, the first day your younger sibling was born, that is very emotionally close to you, isn't it? So that memories, the memories in the episodic memory system has emotional attachment or emotional content to it. Okay. And semantic memory, what would that be?
Includes general knowledge and
Yes,
awareness.
general knowledge, general awareness, all those information comes under that. For example, the capital of India, the capital of Kerala, the year in which India got independence. All these comes under, they are the examples for semantic memory. And episodic memory will be known to you or your close members, close family members or friends or someone like that. And uh, in contrast to this, the semantic memory that will be known by a group of people. Most even Americans might know this information. When did India get independence? Isn't it? They might have studied it. They might have it as a general awareness topic. Okay. Just like that, we have studied about Dundee March. We have studied about the World War II, isn't it? Yeah, all these forms the semantic memory. All this information that is stored in a memory, that forms a semantic memory. Semantic memory is a division of which memory, Reina? Hmm. Think.
The
Go back.
uh,
Semantic and episodic is there. They are divisions of which?
long term.
Long term. Okay, I agree. Long term has two divisions. Which are they? The one we
Declare
can declarative
non-declarative.
and non-declarative. And among these two, where does semantic and episodic come?
Declarative.
Declarative. Very good. Okay. So long-term memory or LTM divided into two, declarative or non-declarative. Non-declarative also known as procedural, and declarative has two divisions which are episodic and semantic. Clear? This is also a very important topic. Mark that and keep. Very important. You can draw that flow chart and study. I taught you when we discussed in class. LTM, two divisions. From declarative, two divisions. Okay. Then, knowledge representation is a deleted topic. No need. Then, memory as a constructive process, you can just read out. That is, uh, some people thought that, or earlier, memory was considered as a reproductive process, not the biological reproduction, the psychological reproduction. Okay. That is, we store some information, we reproduce it as such. The stored information is reproduced as such. That is the reproductive model or reproductive concept of memory. But later on, people understood or people argued that memory is a constructive process, which means we store something, we edit that in some or the other way, and then according to our convenience, we take it back, we retrieve it. So we construct on that basic form of information that we are taking in. That is the constructive process. Memory as a constructive process. We learned about two important people. One is Ebbinghaus, and the other one who opposed it and brought about the constructive view was Bartlett. Okay, Ebbinghaus and Bartlett. Important names. Note that Ebbinghaus and Bartlett. Then serial reproduction concept by Bartlett. Then schema, definition of schema, that is important. Mark that. Then nature and causes of forgetting. Another important topic in the chapter. Who gave the curve of forgetting? Who introduced or who taught about the curve of forgetting? Herman. Herman
Ebbinghaus.
Ebbinghaus. Herman Ebbinghaus. He introduced the curve of forgetting. Okay. Then the causes of forgetting. Which are the causes of forgetting, Grishma?
Interference,
Hmm.
uh, trace,
Decay.
decay,
Hmm. Then lack of some cues. What were the cues? Cues that helps us to recall. What are the cues called?
retrieval,
Yes, retrieval cues. Lack of retrieval cues or inappropriate retrieval cues. These are the three main causes of forgetting. One is trace decay theory, which says that when we put a piece of information into a memory, a trace is formed. That is our CNS, that is a central nervous system. It is modified in some or the other way, and a trace is formed. Trace means a pathway is formed for that memory, and if we don't use that trace, it will decay eventually. It will keep on decaying and finally we lose that memory. That is the trace decay theory. Then interference theory, we discussed two main types, very, very, very important for your higher classes also. Proactive interference as well as, what was the other interference called?
Retroactive.
Retroactive interference. Okay. Study that properly. That's a very important topic. Proactive and retroactive interference. Then retrieval failure. That is lack of retrieval cues. We don't have proper cues to take back or recall that memory from our storage system. That is the third cause. So that's over. Next is enhancing memory. Enhancing memory. What are the strategies known as that we use to enhance our memory? The strategies we
Mnemonics.
mnemonics, yes. And the spelling of mnemonics, please don't make a mistake. Mnemonics. Mnemonics. M is silent there. Mnemonics. And we learned two types of mnemonics. Mnemonics with images, and the other one is organization. Under images, we have the keyword technique and the method of loci. Read that. Method of loci is regarding different positions, or we map that positions in mind. Keyword is we select a particular keyword to connect to the thing that we want to memorize. Okay. Keyword technique and method of loci, they come under the mnemonics using images. Then mnemonics using organization, we have chunking. What is chunking? Chunking.
Grouping.
Grouping. Yes, grouping into smaller chunks. And how many chunks are to be present in our memory, or are likely to be present, which are effective in nature? How many chunks should we reduce them to? If you get a big piece of information, you have to reduce them into, or you have to group them into uh, certain pieces of chunks. What is the limit or range?
5 to 9.
5 to 9. We say 7 plus or minus 2. Okay. 7 plus or minus 2. Note that. 7 plus or minus 2, which is 5 to 9. 5 to 9 chunks. Then that is chunking. Then we have minimize interference. Minimize interference and engage in deep level processing. That is not exactly coming under mnemonics with organization. If mnemonics with organization is asked, then you have to write chunking as well as first letter technique. Only that much. Okay, A and B. The others are techniques to enhance your memory in other ways, not using mnemonics, but tips to enhance your memory. That's all. So that's it. Any doubt? Hmm? Any doubt? Mehek, that was very quick, I know, but
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, how was it? Have you
It was
gone
good.
through this chapter?
No, this chapter hasn't been taken there.
Hasn't taken. Okay. Please read up and just watch the recorded class and let me know if you have any doubt. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Others, any doubt? Just go through the pages.
Some difference between maintenance rehearsal and elaborative rehearsal.
Yes, yes. Okay. Just read that portion, Aishwarya.
Just the definitions.
Just that lines.
The STM then sets into motion another control process of maintenance rehearsal to retain the information for as much time as required.
Hmm.
As the name suggests, these kinds of rehearsals simply maintain information through repetition, and when such repetitions discontinue, the information is lost.
Hmm.
Then should I continue or go to
No,
the next one?
read the next one.
From the STM, information enters the long-term memory through elaborative rehearsal. As against maintenance rehearsals, which are carried through silent or vocal repetition, these rehearsals attempt to connect to be retained information to the already existing information in long-term memory.
Okay. When we studied the stage model, we had 3 stages, isn't it? Sorry. Yeah. Sensory memory. Then we had STM. Then we had LTM. That's clear, no? Yes. And information comes from this side. Then what happens? Uh, this In this system, it lasts for only a very few seconds. Okay, and if that is attended to, the selective attention happens. There are so many senses that you get from the environment, isn't it? So many sensory information that you get, but you only select some information and attend to them, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. So selective attention is the control process happening here. Sorry, selective attention. The information that is coming, that enters your sensory system. In the sensory system, you select some items through the selective attention process. Then that information is entering into the STM, short term memory. There also, the information stays only for a brief amount of time. Hmm? There, if it has to, if that information is important for you, if you want to store that information, if you want to maintain that information or retain that information in your memory system, see, this whole thing is your memory system. So if you want that particular information to be here itself or to be present in the vicinity of this memory system, then what you should do is you have to maintain that there itself, isn't it? You can't leave that somewhere else, or you can let that lose somewhere. So what you do is you do maintenance rehearsal. Maintenance rehearsal, so that this thing or this piece of information stays in this STM itself. Okay, then if you are sure that this thing has settled or being maintained in your STM, then you do elaborative rehearsal in order to keep that in the STM, sorry, long term memory. Okay, first what you should do, it's like catching a bird. Hmm? You liked a bird, the bird came into your environment, you attend to that bird, you means you notice that bird, you go near it, you catch that. Hmm? And what will the bird do? It will try to escape from your hands, isn't it? Yes, it will try its maximum to escape from your hands, but you have to maintain that in your palm itself until it stops trying. So what you do, that is maintenance rehearsal, which you do to keep that in STM itself. Then when that bird has stopped its trial to escape from you, you put that in a cage and make it your pet, isn't it? So that is done in elaborative rehearsal in LTM to store that in LTM forever. Got that? Any more doubt? Clear, Aishwarya? Oh, now turn the pages and see any other doubt. That's all. Okay, so a definition of memory you have to learn by heart. The rest of the topic, I think you can write it in your own words, but it should be correct and the answer should be complete. Fine. You can use your own words. You can use constructive memory. You don't have to reproduce it as such. But for definitions, you have to write the textbook definition itself. Because for plus two, you won't be getting any marks for definitions from Wikipedia or Google or whatever. Got that? So learn this definition, make that a habit of learning the textbook definition itself. And yes, that's it. Which chapter do you want to revise next? Not learning, any other small chapter. Learning will divide and then revise. We'll revise the first 2 chapters together. Okay. So for the next class, when you come, read the 2 chapters and come. Note down your doubts and keep. Okay. Fine. Yes. Okay. Just take the first chapter. That table, not table, box 1.1 page 9. You don't have to learn that whole dates for this coming exam. Uh, if you want, I'll give some important dates. As of now, don't learn that. Okay, no need. I'll give important dates if you want. Then, yeah, that's it. And in the first chapter, we have so many divisions, like for branches of psychology, then for psychology at work, we have different divisions. That is more than 5 points are there. So at least learn 5 points from each of them. Five points in detail. I'm not telling that you have to learn only 5 points, because if I ask one word question from another sixth point, then you won't be able to answer. So know what each point is, plus learn to explain at least 5 of them, at least 4 or 5 of them. You have to learn to explain that in detail. That's it. Others just learn the names, know what it is, and then read up. Okay. Um, yeah, that's it. Methods of inquiry is also a very important chapter. You'll need that if you're doing higher studies in psychology as well as any other science. For thesis, you will require that for your project. So learn that chapter also. Mm, yeah. So we'll wind up then. For the next class, try to learn the first 2 chapters and come. And mark your doubts and keep. Okay. And complete your works fast and come to submit. Fine. Okay then. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.